Morning Year 7, welcome back to Geography. Before we start, can everyone please make sure they have their books out, a pen or something to write with, and sitting quietly ready to go. Okay, great. So, hands up if you have been to or know something about the Huon Valley? Yes.
I've been on the Huon Jet.
Huon Jet, okay. Anybody else? Yeah?
I've been on the Tahoe Airwalk.
So, two great tourist attractions. Excellent. Today we're going to be talking about livability and place. Who has an idea of what I might mean by livability? Anybody? Yes.
How nice it is and what
How nice it is. So what do you mean by how nice?
conditions.
Conditions, so climate.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
The health, for example, in Africa, it wouldn't be a very good place to live at the moment because of the Ebola virus.
Excellent. That's a really good example. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to hand out a map here. And using the map reading skills that we have learnt from previous lessons, just take a moment to jot down some things that you notice about the Huon Valley and how it might relate to livability. Okay, great. Would anyone like to share what they've written down?
It's got good transportation.
How do you know?
It's got
Transport.
ferry symbols.
Ferry, so there's water transport. Anybody else? Yep.
It's got good roads and most of them are sealed, so it would be a very pleasurable drive.
Great, so easy access as well. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the things that make the Huon Valley a livable place, if you could just take a moment to jot down maybe a rating. So say if you were rating a hotel 5 stars, what would you give the Huon Valley out of 5 stars? And maybe a couple of reasons why. Okay, would anyone like to share? Yes.
I gave the Huon Valley 4 stars because it's got good roads leading into the city, and it's got good
Take your time.
good time to get to the city. Like it only takes
Okay, so
5
it's a good
minutes.
commute. So
Yes.
half an hour you think is a good time to get to the capital city. Okay, great. So using what we've written down in front of us, we're going to, as a class, we're going to make a list of the positive things and the negative things about living in the Huon Valley, and we're going to determine the livability. So if anyone would like to share some of the things they've written down, that would be great. Using your hands up, thank you.
There is a nice open space inland just to get in touch with nature, so away from all the busy traffic.
Excellent, thank you. And anybody have some things that they think might be a negative about the livability?
There aren't many railroads.
No railways. So how might we take that negative and turn it into something that is positive? What's another way we could look at the fact there are no railways and make it something positive?
It saves the environment. It's not polluting.
So you think it's more environmentally friendly not to have.
Yes.
Okay, so what we can see there, that is livability means different things to different people. Okay, does anyone have any more examples or any questions that they would like to share? Okay, great. So what we're going to be doing next lesson is we're actually going to be splitting up into groups of 2 or 3, and we are going to be doing a bit of an inquiry unit. I'm going to hand out to you a handout of what we'll be doing for our next task. So, looking at the task in front of you, you'll see that you're required to investigate or to study 2 separate places. One of those places will need to be in Australia. The second place will need to be somewhere in Asia. But where you choose is up to you. Okay, and how you choose to present your information is also up to you. So some suggestions might be a poster or a tourist brochure, or you might like to write a blog from the perspective of someone who's travelled to these places. Your information will also need to include one map of the area, so one map for your place in Australia, one map for your place in Asia, and you will also need to have 2 graphs. So those graphs will be used to represent some of that information that you find, but which graphs you choose is up to you. The last thing that you'll need to do is to compare the information and to look for some similarities and some differences between the two places. So does anyone have any questions, or is that not clear to anybody about what we'll be doing next lesson? Excellent. Okay, well thank you for your time, grade 7, and we'll see you next lesson. Bye-bye.